I want 100 properties before end of this year.
I'm only getting paid 5,000, but by the end of the year, I need to be getting paid 50,000 from my properties.
Relax, Tiger. Relax. You need to set realistic goals when it comes to property investing. Let's get into the video.
Watch until the end.
Day 3 of our 30-day challenge, and I'm quite excited. We're still talking on how to start your journey.
If you haven't actually RSVP'd for Cape Town, make sure that you RSVP now. I mean, you can even pause this and then come back and watch this whole video.
You need to subscribe and hit the notification button because we'll be posting for the whole of this month.
Most definitely. So now how I would actually like to open this up is that realistic is going to be relative according to your situation. If Nell is getting paid 100,000 per month and I'm getting paid 5,000 a month, our goals are not actually going to be the same, right? Nell can't base his 15% based on my 15%. Let's put this into practical. If I'm getting paid 25,000 right now, right, and I'm saving 10,000 from my 25,000 right now, and I'm saying that with every property that I'm actually buying, I'm going to be getting an ROI, a return on investment of 15%. This basically means that I'm actually going to be collecting 18,000 of cash flow positive per annum. Right. So now looking at that particular situation, whereby I'm actually targeting the 15%, it's either two ways if I want to actually increase my targeted goal, the 18,000. If I want to increase the 18,000, it's either I'm going to have to save more, have a 15,000 and then base my 15% on the 15,000, or I'm going to need to get skilled more to actually increase this 15,000 so that I can get a greater cash flow. So now the more you actually equip yourself, I'm glad that you're actually joining us on the 30-day challenge. The more you equip yourself with the relevant information, that's how you can actually start by setting those goals that you can actually run towards. So now if I'm actually going to be collecting 18,000 at the first year, I know that on the second year, if I'm buying the next property and I'm collecting another 18,000, I'm going to add the first 18,000 with the second 18,000. That makes it cash flow per annum from 2 different properties.
And I mean, if you want us to help you, sit down, let us do goal settings with regards to the situation that you find yourself in and how to grow your property portfolio. Hit the link below Calendly, reserve your booking, and then let's discuss this over Zoom. So setting goals. When it comes to setting goals, you need to understand which game are you playing within the property arena. Are you playing the cash flow game or are you playing the capital gains game?
And there's no right one, right?
There's no right one or there's no wrong one. So, I mean, what's important is that you need to understand why you're playing that game. However, for yourself, you need to sit down and actually look at your financial situation. That are you looking for a lot of money right now at one point in time after each project? Or are you looking rather at the cash flow games in terms of I'll be getting X amount every month, and that's how I'll be growing my portfolio.
I mean, when you're looking at these two strategies, right, you're looking at the first one, which is cash flow, and you're looking at the next one, which is capital gains. These are two different, right? So now if you're looking at a cash flow, you're looking at rental. If you're looking at a capital gains, meaning that you want more money, you're looking at flipping a property. So now with these two properties, it will then vary from one person to another. So now if you're looking at one particular person that's saying that, you know what, I want some money from property to actually invest in my other businesses so that my other business can actually get more revenue. What they would actually do is that they would actually buy a property below market value, flip that property to actually get a profit, and then with that profit, use it to actually invest in their business. And now when you're looking at someone that's saying they want a cash flow on a monthly basis, this is someone that's saying that, you know what, I do understand that things might actually happen. If I was to say that, you know what, I'm really tired, I need to go out on a vacation for 1 week, they can go out on a vacation for 1 week and they will actually still get the same amount of money at the end of the month than when they were actually around. So now you need to understand that when you are setting your goals, do you want a regular cash flow, or are you looking at a once-off that you are actually going to be collecting?
I mean, even breaking down capital gains, like let's say I'm in a flip project, and let's just say that I couldn't sell it for 12. Let's just say I sold it on the 12th month, and then I got 120,000. how do I actually gauge that the 120,000 was a good return or not? That's when you can actually say the 120,000 divided by the number of months that you were in that project, let's just say 12 in this case, and then you are getting 10,000. That's when you can actually gauge that, okay, per month I received 10,000. And then it's from your point in terms of looking at your total investment and looking at the 10,000 per month, that was it really worth it? This is how you actually review these deals, that I was in this deal for 12 months, I made 120,000, which is about 10,000 a month. Is this a deal that I'd like to find myself in the next time? So that you prepare yourself that when you see a similar deal to the one that you were in, you're able to take that decision that I'm not happy going for this risk. I'd rather try another deal.
So now, let's take it back to before you actually started investing in property.
Yeah.
The one question that was really important is that how are you going to actually enter this market? Do you want to give us the answer on that?
How are you going to enter this market is a very important question. Once you have the answer to that, that is when you know for sure that this is how I'm going to go about it, and this is how I'm going to enter it. Because I truly believe that we ask all of the questions that are important. However, one of the most important ones when starting is, how am I going to enter it? Am I using cash or am I using credit? Once you have the answer to my credit or cash, that's when I'm able to go to that cash, get it and invest it. Or go to my bond originator, tell her or him, but it's her, but we all know that it's her, tell her that please look at my affordability and let us get the ball rolling. Because a lot of people get stuck being in love with property but not understanding how are they going to enter the market. If I don't have money, cash, to buy the property, I already know that I need to be working on my credit. Hence, we are big advocates when it comes to credit, because it does give you the opportunity to enter the market without that lump sum. However, now you need to be knowing what you're doing, because if you do go for credit and you can't pay it back, last thing you want is getting blacklisted or losing your first property. So essentially what we're saying is that know how you are going to enter the market.
Most definitely. And now we look at this term, that other people's money, right? OPM. So now when you're looking at other people's money, you need to understand a lot of elements that do come with other people's money. I mean, for me, I would rather risk my money any day rather than risking someone else's money. So now if I'm actually new into this whole property investing, if I'm actually new to this property investing journey, I need to then understand that should I lose this person's money, I need to actually pay it back. Will I actually be able to actually pay it back? Do I know what am I doing before I'm investing in this particular property? So now looking at that specific point, that if I'm going to be using other people's money, how do I then see to it that I am actually going to be getting this cash flow or this amount of money on a monthly basis or at the end of that project?
Guys, I'd like us to do a poll on YouTube right now. Let's say it's the first time you saw me. You didn't know me over a bar of soap. I don't know
How
that analogy, but yeah, you didn't know me over a bar of soap. And then I came to you and I told you, do you know what, Mr. or Miss, I've seen a property. Let's go into it. I'm willing to give you 20%. Would you give me the one, and I'm asking you for 1 million, and the property is going to be registered under me? Are you going to trust me with that 1 million? You've never seen me, even if you have seen me for a year, and I'm asking you for 1 million. Would you just type in the comment section that, would you give me the 1 million to invest in the property?
Type in trust or don't trust.
While we're still on setting goals level, I'd like to understand, what is another goal that you think is very important for property investors to set before they even start?
I mean, this is one of the common questions that we get, that I've bought my first property, but now how do I move on to my second property? So now something that you need to understand is that your first property is basically going to determine how fast are you going to be getting your second property. Say for instance, you bought one property and it's not cash flowing positive. You actually need to take out 2,000 on a monthly basis. Is this going to really motivate you to buy the second property? I doubt it. I doubt it, because now when you're looking at that situation, you are actually taking away money from you. So now the first thing that you need to actually do is that get a property that will actually be cash flowing positive. Once you get a property that's going to be cash flowing positive, you're then going to get the confidence that if I can do this with one property, and this has actually increased my credibility towards the bank, if I can get another property, that means that I'm going to get 2,000. The more properties that I'm actually going to be getting, that actually gives me confidence.
It's clear that it can be game over with your first property. I'm sure you all know the one person, you know somebody in the family, or you know somebody who bought one property or one apartment and they're still holding on to it. So what happens is that they might have hit their affordability. So what affordability is that I go to the bank as a first time buyer. Let's just say I have a house, and then I have my house that I'm living with my family, and then I'm still paying bond on it. And then let's just say that the bank said, okay, you can afford another house. So now I buy another property worth around 500,000 because my bond originator told me that I can only get to 500,000. So what happens is that now I've hit my affordability. So how the bank is actually looking at me, they're looking at all my income versus all my expenses, put them together, and then they're able to do that prediction that, you know what, you cannot afford X amount anymore. So at the end of the day, what we're saying is, with today's topic, is I see the property that I want to buy, I can see my affordability, and if I'm buying it with my affordability, how am I going to move on to the next property? Because once you have the answer to that, now you easily go into the property, understanding your growth in your property journey. And then again, it's not a crime to just have one property and then you just owning that one property for the rest of your life. It's not a crime. However, it must be intentional that you went into this deal understanding that, okay, when I'm buying this deal, I'm going to hit my affordability, or the cash flow that I'm getting. How is that helping me to grow to my property, or how is this not helping me to get to my property, my next property? Then I can take a conscious decision that, am I going in or am I not going in?
If you watch this far, I'm sure you have actually RSVP'd for Cape Town, because we are really looking forward to meeting you in person.
If you haven't hit the calendar link below so that we can discuss realistic goals with you, let's go for it, man.
Noel,
signing out.